Welcome to WikiNarrator. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy training aircrafts took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida for what should have been a routine navigation exercise. They were called Flight 19, but neither the squadron nor the rescue aircraft sent after them were ever seen again. Their disappearance became one of the most enduring mysteries in aviation and helped cement the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. In the late afternoon of December 5, 1945, a group of 5 Grumman TBF-1 Avenger torpedo bombers, collectively known as Flight 19, took to the skies from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale. 14 men were aboard these planes, including the flight leader, Lieutenant Charles Carroll Taylor, a seasoned aviator with combat experience in the Pacific. Their assignment was a routine navigation and bombing training exercise called Navigation Problem Number 1. The plan was straightforward. Fly east from the Florida coast to the practice bombing range at Hens and Chickens Shoals, then turn north towards Grand Bahama Island, and then finally loop back to Fort Lauderdale. About an hour into the flight, after completing the bombing portion, things began to change. Lieutenant Taylor reported that his compass and backup compass had failed, and that he wasn't sure of their location. Other pilots experienced similar instrument problems. Radio operators on the ground weren't able to help. Messages from the flight grew confused as the aircraft drifted farther out to sea. At one point, an instructor on another flight told Taylor to head west towards the Florida mainland, but this direction was not followed. Taylor seemed convinced that they were over the Gulf of Mexico rather than the Atlantic. He instructed his squadron to fly northeast in hopes of finding the Florida Keys, but that decision only took the planes further out over the open ocean. As the afternoon wore on, Flight 19's radio communications became intermittent. As daylight faded, the men's transmissions grew faint. Around 6:20 p.m., a distorted message was heard indicating that they might have to ditch their aircraft because of low fuel. Nothing more was heard from them. Hundreds of miles from shore, and with their compasses useless, the Avengers vanished into the vast Atlantic. Not long after Flight 19 was declared missing, the Navy dispatched a patrol aircraft, a Martin PBM Mariner from Naval Air Station Banana River, to try to locate the flight. Tragically, this aircraft also disappeared shortly after takeoff. Radio contact was lost, and despite reports of a fiery explosion seen by a nearby tanker, no trace of the PBM's crew or wreckage was ever recovered. In the days following, the U.S. Navy organized one of the largest air and sea searches in its history. Hundreds of planes and ships scoured thousands of square miles of the Atlantic, the Gulf of Mexico, and parts of Florida, but no confirmed debris, bodies, or aircraft parts were ever found. The Navy's official investigation initially concluded that the compasses had failed and that Taylor had mistakenly led his flight into open ocean, where they ran out of fuel and likely ditched at sea. The disappearance of the Mariner was attributed to a probable mid-air explosion while searching. Later, the report was amended to avoid directly blaming Taylor, citing cause unknown due to a lack of physical evidence. Although aviation experts lean towards navigational error and fuel exhaustion as the most plausible explanation, the mystery of Flight 19 has long been entwined with the folklore of the Bermuda Triangle, an area vaguely defined between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, where ships and planes have supposedly disappeared under mysterious circumstances. This association with unexplained vanishings has helped keep the Flight 19 story alive in public imagination. Flight 19's disappearance remains one of aviation history's most baffling episodes. Pilots lost without a trace, a rescue plane also gone, and no wreckage to tell the tale. It's a story of training flights, navigational error, and the mystery that still surrounds the Bermuda Triangle. Thanks for tuning in to WikiNarrator. Feel free to like and subscribe and leave a comment for any other ideas.